Hi, welcome to Barvotti's 76th live screening of Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. There will be promotional offers during the program, and the promo codes will be active during the demonstration and for about half an hour after. The current time is 12 noon Central, April the 22nd, 2022. Right now, the promotions are only available on Amazon.com. And I would like to say that next week we are going to be screening at 11 Central. So we're coming on an hour earlier for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, hi, and here we are with that wonderful masterpiece that was made in the introduction. It was made on Yupo paper during the last class, and at the time I thought, what a mess, let's get this off of here right away. And I trimmed the edges so all the monkey marks are off, and I'm looking at it again and I'm thinking, I guess I don't really hate it. And I like some of the movement and stuff in that, so I thought I would keep it. And I just want to show you, okay, that corrects the color. I'm just going to go zoom in on it and show you the depth of some of the stuff that's actually happening underneath, and move it around a little bit so you can see it. So there's a lot going on here, and I always critique my own work, so one of my critiques here would be there's not enough light like really light parts, but there's a lot of fairly light parts and a lot of dark parts. And I like to keep my things like this because it gives me a record of sort of where my mind was at a certain time, and where I'm going in the future. Now I'm going to bring this in again. Oops, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom out, yeah. Okay, zoom all the way out. How come it's not zooming all the way out? Okay, zoom all the way. I'm trying to use rubber gloves. Normally what I do is I cut the end off this finger, but it doesn't seem to make any difference because as soon as I get paint on it, it seems to work there beautifully with the gloves, but as soon as I get paint on the glove, it doesn't work. I could probably just use a different finger. And I'm just using my iPhone to bring it in and out of focus. And so I'm not selling iPhones, by the way, but this just shows you what an iPhone, I think it's 8 Plus, so it's an older iPhone, can do. And it's set up on a table. It's about 16 inches about the table. And I have a little tray here that I try to keep the artwork in. And I try to keep it sort of so that you don't see this tray, but sometimes you might see it. So it's getting much more organized, because when I first did this, I just painted on big sheets of this paper, and then I had to move them off and things like that. So it may look somewhat disorganized to you, but we are actually improving. Okay, on the way out, we're going to show you this one, which is one that we did on yesterday. No, not yesterday. Both of these were done on Wednesday last time. So if we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, this would have been the Wednesday one. Oh, and do I have it upside down?
No.
Eh?
No. It was fine the way I had it.
It was fine, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes I forget to tell since it's abstract work, but I usually, oh no, this is upside down because the bearded man is on this side. I know that. Anyway, I don't want you to look at that part of the painting and say that that's the bearded man, but for some reason I was looking at it at a certain angle the other day, and I thought, I was taking this cheap paper and I was digitizing it, so I was getting parts of the picture. I had to put it on my scanner so that I could keep the image, because I do like the image. Do you have a picture of the image that I kept? Or because I kept and corrected of this one? It really should have the, oh, there he is. So this has been scanned onto this. Can you, you can't make that bigger, can you? But I did note, if you look at the image a little bit, you'll notice that the, I've taken, oops, I can't show you on this.
Go back to you.
Okay, go back to my, okay, this is my original. I didn't really like this line or this bit of, sort of like a water splotch there. So I took, I fixed it in Photoshop. I did a little design over here with a very, very fine marker. I didn't clean anything else up. And so you can see it there. Did you put it back up again?
Yeah.
So you can see the design on the big 2 squares up there. And it's just more to distract from that pointy thing, pointy blob of paint. Go back to the thing. Pointy blob of paint going up there. But I've basically taken a very a non-archival painting and done something to it in Photoshop and screened it at a very high resolution. So I will be able to market that painting. I'm not trying to sell it right now because I haven't actually got that, but I will be able to if I want to market it so that it can be a meter, I think it's 2 meters high and 1 meter wide, or 1.5 meters wide, and the resolution will still be 300 dots per minute, 300 dots per inch, and, or is it per centimeter? I forget. Anyway, it'll be at a very high resolution, and it'll have that minor correction. So, and I can sell that on various places that sell enlargements, and I will probably do that because I like this one. Okay, so what I was trying to do yesterday, just to give you an idea, and we will get into the tools and things like that. These are all made with tools. So I've got a little gob of paint or Scotch tape or something. So this is on that very good paper there. So good that you can pull a piece of Scotch tape off it and you won't even see it. I'm trying to be able to use my, I'm very loose when I paint on this type of paper here. And it's, like I said, it's butcher paper. And it's like, oh, have I got the plastic side up there? No, I must have put it in backwards. And you know what? The funny thing is, I can't really tell by feeling it because I've got these silly gloves on. So what I'm going to do, are they both backwards? No, just the top one's backwards. So what would happen if I tried to paint on that? It would just soak into the paper side and it wouldn't work. But if I've got the right side up, it would be slick. So what I'm trying to do is become much looser, loose in my painting skills, like I do when this is a much looser painting than this one. It's done on a smaller piece. I'm used to painting very large. This is much looser. So that could be the reason why I like these better than this one. And this is also, the first time I did it, beginning of the show. Am I feeling loose and creative? No, I'm feeling a little bit tense when I did this. I don't know if I did another one later. I set them all aside. I did this one a little bit later, also on Yupo, but I'm used to doing these kinds of designs on Yupo. So that makes it a little bit easier for me if I'm doing something I'm familiar with. So I'm trying to do these sort of semi-color block paintings on the more expensive paper. But today we're going to just play with the large paper and then see if we can do something similar on the loose paper. And we're going to use the tools that were the promos on. These are the, oops, I'm seeing I'm missing one or two here. I had didn't get all of the sizes cleaned again. Oh, there they are. Oh, they're still dirty. Aha. So, this is the last show, and as you can see, all my tools, these are the ones I would probably use today. They're covered with dried on acrylic paint. And I've been so careful since I started that I never had an opportunity to show people how easy it is to clean these if the acrylic paint is dried on. And you can just see, I'm just pulling it right off. Oops, not that. I have little tiny soft fingernails, so they don't work quite as well as some of the bigger ones. But let's just go in, zoom in, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Can you see it? So this is an example of how these tools are just about, well, it's also an example of how wonderful acrylic paint is on certain types of surfaces. And you can just basically pull it off and wipe. Oh, I'll wipe it with, most of my rags are wet. One just fell in the wastebasket. So I keep damp, that's how I normally clean them, is I just clean them with a damp rag when they're wet, and I just pull all the stuff off. So they're very, very easy to clean. I'm not going to stand here and clean them for you during the class, but I just wanted to demonstrate something that what I have wanted to demonstrate before, is that it's no big problem if you've left your tools sitting. It might be a big problem if you've left your tools sitting and you plan to use them for a show. But in general, if you're walking into your studio and you've left your tools, this is going to be like a 5-minute job at the sink with something a little stronger than my very soft fingernails to lift up these edges and pull them through. So I'm just going to set those aside. I will keep this one. Oh, I almost got it clean enough because I don't have this size. And maybe while I'm showing something, let's get this off of here. Okay, so we'll get started. That acrylic paint, it was completely dry. I'm sorry. To me, it's hilarious that I did that, but it may not be to you. So let's just play. Okay. That's quinacridone red. Zoom out. We are using a different system here now so that my camera is not supported on exactly the same way it was before. But it is a better system, and it'll be a much better system when I've had a bit more practice with it. So this is Payne's Gray. So those are two very nice acrylic colors and acrylic paints. And oops, I'm not using, I thought I picked up this one. This is a mixture that I made myself from phthalo blue and phthalo green. I'm just going to make sure that ending is open. These are new bottles I've just started to use. Pardon me. They're supposed to work by twisting this thing in and down. Yes, there. It should be open now. Nope. Oh, come on. Well, the other thing I'm supposed to do between shows is to get these ready. That is closed now. It's open now. So these things are supposed to make it easy. Oh, there it comes, and it is all right. Oh, okay, let's not paint with that. So, and then I'm going to put some yellow. And oops, this is very wet yellow. And this is probably too much, but we'll put a little bit of gold here. And the gold is quite thick, and you can see how it's way, way thicker than the yellow. So that will determine a little bit how I will use these, and probably how I will mix them in the future. So I've had a couple of years off painting right now, but I have been painting since I was a child. So, and I graduated from art school, probably 2006. So I've done a lot of painting since that time. So this is Payne's Gray. And so what I'm doing is kind of a color block painting. So that's a block. And it's so easy to do a color block painting when you're painting with tools that do blocks. So look at this. So I got a nice block of what looks like black. Is there a problem, Previn? Okay. So when Previn makes a big sigh or noise, I think, oh my goodness, what have I done? Okay. And it might not be me, but it's a little bit like driving. Okay. So I did a little color block up there, and I put a little bit of a few marks in there. And so far I have mixed that with nothing at all. Now I'm going to take this off here, show you how simple it is to remove the paint. And I'm going to take some of this. Oh, there's some yellow that's already separated out. I don't have to separate it out. But if I had to separate it out, I could use this just simply wiped off. You'd never be able to do that with a brush. So let's put it here. Let's mix it up there. So you want to see what yellow, that ugly yellow looks? Oh, it's a beautiful yellow, actually. Looks mixed with Payne's Gray. So I just cleaned it off, so I'm not mixing yellow in there. But in my next one, I'm going to mix it right into that yellow and see what color we get. And that'll give us information about what that Payne's Gray really is made from. So you can see from looking at it, we're getting a very dull green. So that Payne's Gray, we're getting a very reddish green. So that Payne's Gray is actually a mixture of red and green. So it looks like we were mixing black and yellow, but we were actually mixing red and a dark greeny blue. And Payne's Gray, I've got a color chart here about how to make Payne's Gray, and you use naphthol red light, 3 parts to 2 parts phthalo blue. And we haven't put phthalo blue on here. This stuff over here is a phthalo blue. Remember the one that we had a very hard time getting out of the thing. So we can see what that yellow looks like without the red part by just mixing it, because this is phthalo blue and phthalo green. Yeah, that should be fine. So this is what I think of as my beautiful mixture, because I love this color, and I'm making a big color block down here. Ooh, look at. So here, if you look at this, you can see if I go like this, I've got all this paint on there, and I've got it there because I went like this first. All right, now that gives me lots. And now if I go from there, that angle, to that angle, and I press lightly, I spread the paint. Spread. And so I did this because I wanted you to see what this color was like before I mixed it with that yellow. And I'm going to mix this with that yellow, those 2 little gobs of yellow up there. And that's probably way too much. We'll come back to this and do something with it later. I'm going to take some of this off. Oops. Okay. So we're going to see the difference in the 2 greens, because this should be a very pretty green. As you can see, it's more like a beautiful grass green. And the reason it's like a grass green is because it isn't made with Payne's Gray, and Payne's Gray's got a lot of red in it. So this is a combination of this blue, my favorite blue, or my made blue, and this yellow. This is an airline yellow. I don't think it's transparent, but it might be. I don't have the jar here. I'm pretty sure it's I tend to use only transparent paints. I tend to use one paint, one type of paint, and if you want to know what that paint is, you can check it out on my website. I said Barvotti.com, or yeah. And so Barvotti Barvotti tools on Amazon are tools that I've made and used and liked so much, and wish that more people would know about them, because I do teach art, or have taught art. I guess I'm teaching art right now. I'm actually thinking I'm teaching a little bit of color stuff here. So look at this green, made from this Payne's gray and this yellow. And this Payne's gray is actually a mixture of this this very dark color, actually, the green side of that, and is it the green side? No, it's the blue side. The blue of this and this red. So we can actually take a little tiny bit of this green here, just to play. So you can see I'm playing, I'm kind of making a picture, but I'm kind of not, because it's because I'm bothering to think about it. And okay, let's put some nice little squares in here. We've got this bit of stuff here we can do. So I like to use these for making marks and different kinds of marks, and I often like making squares and stuff like that. So with that tiny bit, so I'm going to take that, bring it over here, wipe this off, and I'm going to take a touch of this, and we're going to see what this green becomes. And so sometimes when you're an artist, and especially when you're starting out and you buy paints, you get a set of 6 or 8 paints, maybe a beginner. If you buy good quality paints, don't worry, you'll be able to mix anything. But if you just buy the normal paints that come in a paint set, unfortunately, you won't really know what's in them. But if you buy good quality, you can mix just about anything. And these are good quality. So I've just about mixed that right there. The problem is it's extremely hard. Well, I could mix it, I know. We're talking acrylic paint. So this is a thing where I can add moisture without really ruining the paint. So it's a gloss thing. It also comes from the same company. Oops. And it's also stuck. So, oops. Ah! And when we do this, we get a very interesting thing we can do with that. And I just have to see what's going to happen if I roll it on the next piece of paper. I hope you saw what happened. Did everybody see what happened, Trevor?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so luckily I have another piece of paper underneath, and I will go back to the other painting, but I want to see what happens if I go like this. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, let's go back the other way. Should do the same thing. Should be able to go the same way. Okay. So I'm going to work on this after the one I'm working on. We'll put it back in there. And we'll take this one away, and I've got another one ready that we can use. That's empty. It's got a lot of sheets in it. And we'll put the original one back in. So here we are. And I was trying to open that bottle of gloss, and then I was trying to, oh my goodness, all these different things. So this is called, it's a light gloss that you can use and I'm going to just put a drop on the side here. Oops, you can't see it, and thank goodness it's not a drop, it's a spoonful. But I'm just going to take a bit of that. This is kind of ruined. It's dried out, so it's not going to work. But I'm going to do it again quickly. I took this green, I took this yellow, and that green. Too bad that yellow is so sloppy, but I'm sorry. We're just going to work with this. They will get all mixed up a bit together. So we're going to try and make that little green only a little bit bigger. Again, there. There we go. So there we go, that green. So as you can see, that green is very different from this one. And this one is a little bit darker because I have a little bit less yellow. But let's see if we can dull that green down to the same dull green. And I'm not going to this time go searching for the red. I'm going to just take red from here and go across that little bit of red there, and we're just going to dull it down here. So as you can see, we are getting a dull green. This is more like a spruce green. Okay, and I'm going to spread it out and show you where the heck am I going to spread it out. I'm going to spread it out right here. So there's a very lovely dark, dark spruce green. I'll show you the lighter tones of it. So this is a much duller green. I can add a little bit more yellow to it so it looks a bit lighter, but it'll still have that red dull tinge. It won't look like this beautiful green here. So this is actually a play on greens we're doing right now. And that's okay. We can do that. So what are we going to do with these guys? Ooh, look at that. So that's playing that way. And let's take a bit of this and go up here and maybe play with, oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. We'll just take some of that and that. So we've got a lot of greens going on here. So let's play with some of these greens and move them across the canvas and see where we can do with them. So let's choose a different tool and let's go up. This is a blue, as you can see, and I just chose to go like that. And I could go like this on top of it. So the reason it has a little bit of color is I turned it around. And this gold is great. So maybe we can do some different things here. We can take the brush or the mottler and angle it and just pull it down in a thing like that. And then we can go take the gold up through the red. Ooh. And take the red through the gold. Oh, let's do it with one of these. Okay. This is where I need music, Previn. So at some point, I just start playing with it because it gets too messy, and it's not so much that it's too messy, it's that I'm looking for things that I want to, in this case, I can't really say the word is balance. What is the word? I don't know. It's more like, it strikes my fancy that it might look neat if I did this here, for example. And, oh, maybe something there. Oh, yeah, look at that. See? I don't have to do that. I don't think about it very long. In fact, I think the longer I think about it, the worse it gets. So in that case, and I rarely mix gold sort of this way, but it's kind of fun today, and I'm doing it today. So this is my warm-up. This would be like my warm-up for the day. I would play with these colors if I thought I was going to be using these colors or am using these colors in the painting. And because I'm an abstract painter, I might just have so much fun that I don't want to go and paint anything else. But this gives you an idea. I don't know, where am I looking at? Too much green in the right corner. Let's take some of the gold and go up there and stick it on. I've got these very interesting tools I made recently that are not quite like the other ones. So let's do some. Let's do some outrageous things. Okay. Oh, I like that part. Is she going to ruin it? Quite likely. Quite likely, quite likely, quite likely, quite likely. Quite likely. So what I'm playing with is swirls, angles. Here's a big angle going across there. There's another one across there. For some reason, I often have the need to do this. And it might be something to do with, well, I don't think the whole thing is hanging together. So let's just put a net over it. I don't really know why I come up with these. But then I find I do that and it tells me where I want to do things. So am I just about finished? It looks terrible. Okay, so let's go through and unterrible it, or maybe make it worse. Oh, look at that yellow. Do you think we could put that yellow in there? Oh, it's coming out green. One would expect it to come out green. Where else? Where else? So we're getting to the point of what I may want to get beyond, but we may have to stop here. And the point is called GM. GM stands for God-awful mess. So now all my squares are about the same size. So I could actually take a very big one here like this. And I could take a color, either the red. I mean, be bold, eh? Or maybe some of the paint's gray. I don't see any. Oops, doesn't work without that in. So and because it's so wide, I can just take a big stroke of red and put it in here. And I can put it in here. Ooh, I pulled it off there. That's okay. Oh, I see flags start to show up. There's not going to be anything on that side. It's still a GM, God-awful mess. Okay, and as with often happens on my paintings, it is a green GM. So let's see what we can do with that. Da 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 da. Oops, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, I do sing when I paint. Now that's getting to be very strange. Now, let's see. Now, she says, what are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this? It's interesting because now I can see it close up on my board. I can see it medium size on something else, and I can see it I have like 3 views of a painting that I've never ever had before. So ooh. So what I'm playing with here is my mind. What is going on in my mind is I'm saying, what if I put the white line there? What if I put the line here? What if I wiggled the line a bit more? And then the part of me is going like, well, not a part of me, but I'm thinking, another thought is going, well, I could do this, like start doing what I did before. But I think I'm just about finished this very weird painting. And I'd like to go back to that one that started out as dropping my bottle of red and gold on the floor and see what we can do with that. And it's pretty easy to get back to. It's pretty much going to take, what? Do you want to show that, Previn, would you please show the one where it's the little short that says, you know, the number of different things people use these brush tools for?
Mhm.
Well, I just... Oh, here we are back again. And I'm looking at this. I didn't do much while you were gone, except look at this and think, what kind of a thing is this? And most artists would look at this and say, this is definitely a landscape. Okay. I suppose maybe you would. I've done many landscapes like this in red and yellow. Oh, guess what? The paint is dried. It's no longer wet. It's no longer completely wet. So that means we can decide what we're going to do with it, which might not be very much. But let's just try some of this opaque paint along here. This is blue-green opaque, and probably should have maybe, instead of using opaque, used my transparent stuff, but let's put a little bit of transparent here. This is, come on, work. Well, there, it's going to work. Woo. Oh, I'm going to put a little bit here. I could do a drip painting where I put a little bit of water on the top and it all dripped over that. That would be, I would do that. Am I going to do it? I don't think so. I'm going to try and see, what am I going to do? Okay. I want to pull something over this area. I think I'm going to use one of my little, oh yeah, here, I'll use this one. I don't think it'll go all the way, oh yeah. And I think, ooh, that's fun. So where is this going? Where can it go? Was it rather a long, what do you call it, landscape? I mean, it had a very wide picture. So I think now what I'm going to do is take another one of these little funny things and maybe pull a bit of that. Actually, I think I'll take it the other way. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm looking for the brush. I hope it's not among all those ones I had before. And I think I'm going to put a little more gold this way. And now I could go pull it down, but I have a sense that I want to go up. And I'm looking for my favorite one, and guess what? My favorite one, this is it. And you can see the problem here. So I have to take a less than favorite one. Where are you? Less than favorite one? Okay, let's just go like this. I want to, for some reason, I want to go, oh, do I want to do that? Wait a minute, I don't. I want to take it through here. I want to go like this. I'll go up later. Getting stuff on my blush. Now I want to go the other way, which is it this way? Or is it this way? So now what the most interesting part of this painting is this red stuff at the bottom. And this is all pretty funny, but okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, what do I want to do? I think I'll go like this. Ooh. And then I'll go like this. Now this is, I'm just, obviously no, it started out as an accident, and if it ever becomes more than an accident, that'll be pure luck. But sometimes I learn stuff from doing things like this, so bear with me, please. So you can see the tool, you can lay down paint, you can spread out paint, and you can opaque paint. I must have put a bunch down there. And what I could do at this point is do something I've never done before on this show, is because it's possible. Paint is just right now to see what a poured paint, and not a poured painting, a drip painting is like. And I'm not sure if I've got drippy water or not. I'm not sure. Wish I had a squirt bottle full of water right now. And I don't. Oh, I have this. So I'm going to turn this way. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, I'm going to just squirt water at the top and encourage it to drip down through this painting in a very random way. And what we've sort of backed into here is a technique I spent many months on. And this is not the best scenario, but it's not bad. Because, well, it would be better if I had more water and it wasn't so, and I was squeezing a squeeze bottle. But you can see I'm getting something different. And I'm just going to pull it off so I can make it fall more vertically. I don't know whether I can show that. More vertically at the bottom. And I might even turn it over and make it go back down. And if this was on linen, or a good quality canvas, because the colors, see right now it's coming off of the plastic, and I could make squares by going, don't know whether you can see, it's now going that way. Okay, and now I can make it go down again. And I'm just playing with this for a minute because I want to show you something that might occur, I think. So this is a very delicate, what I'm doing is a procedure that is usually, the artist knows what they're doing. they don't come upon it accidentally, which I have today. But with my techniques that I used, I would have a painting, it would have a background, I would pour a film of a different color on top of it, and then I would scrape through. And Preben can show you a picture of that painting. You know, it's called Pink Explosion. I did it in art school. Yeah, you can show them that one. So that's a picture of dripping water through almost dry pink paint, which is on the surface of a very, first of all, white and dark color. And the pink paint was on the surface. And when the water dripped through at exactly the right time, it made these almost trails, almost exactly like, well, it's a grid, and it's a, it looks like a map. So let's go back to the one we're trying to show that on, but at least now you have an idea of what I was looking at. Why is this crooked like that? Okay, is it crooked? Is that better? Okay. So what I would do after it was partly dry, and it wouldn't have a plastic surface underneath, I see a very clean brush here, or it would be like a bath. This is a huge paint. That painting you were looking at was at least 1 meter by 1 meter, maybe quite a bit more. Not 6 meters, but quite a bit more. But I'm just pulling this through very lightly here. So I'm just taking off very little paint. And I tend to be taking it off, if you'll notice, where the drips were. See the drips? Those weird things now. So to make things look, sometimes to make things look not like they were planned, but were accidental, it's, especially as an abstract painter, because I mean, if you're not an abstract painter, nothing should be accidental, I think. And so almost as though nature moved it. So in pouring water, nature moves it. And nature will move it the way it will according to what's in the mixture. So you can see I poured this from the top, so most of it was very wet. The most interesting part of this has gone from there, where the pink, the red is, to down here to where these wonderful, wonderful things are, the drips. So 6 months learning how to make, I decided to do that. That was my choice. Art school didn't. So I could scrape this off a little more, but I would just be scraping off other things. So I think now the painting is still a landscape, but I think it starts here and goes here. And it's pretty mucky landscape. This one, there may be no redemption. I'll see what I can do with the edges. Give you an idea. And unfortunately, I don't have any of my. I do have some abstract paintings that show this quite clearly, but I don't have them on tape or anything. So they're in people's houses somewhere, somewhere in rural Canada, somewhere in rural Alberta. So I can turn it upside down and say, "That is my painting," and of course, this would be straightened off here, so it wouldn't be crooked. So a lot of work going towards making these dimensions, and normally it would be, I got another painting that does that. I think that's the only one, or,
There's Madras. It's got a lot of...
Madras does know that, but that doesn't have drips. I think there's some drips in the one that I show. This is my painting that I talk about on the reel. Eh? Yeah. There's this whole surface of this one is that me standing in front of it? No. Okay. It could be me in front of it. Okay. If you look at this one, you can see that the whole surface is covered with drips of pale green, actually it's a fluorescent green. And it goes over, you can see it sitting over the top of the black, and you can see it sitting over the whole painting, because that was the final part of the painting. And this one, a little bit reversed, because it was actually the paint that is actually left on there, but it's a very fluid paint. And the other one, the Pink Explosion, and this one, I'm pulling the paint off by pouring clear water through it. And this is like quite, the one we're looking at here is quite, how do you say it, coarse compared to that one. But if you look at the painting, or that one that's still up there, oh, I'm looking at this one. Okay, if you're looking at the big painting that's up, that you're looking at now, okay, which one are we looking at? Yeah, okay. I get a little confused where you guys are looking, where I'm looking. If you look at the big black painting, that's like 2 meters by 1.5 meters high. So it's a big painting. But if we look at this little painting, the one that we're doing, so you show the one on the desk. Okay, so this one, it's using the same drip technique, but I've used it very coarsely. I haven't planned it. I came upon it accidentally. That's what I decided to do, to play with the gold and stuff underneath. I'm very interested to see what it looks like tomorrow when I've cut off the edges, and I do think these drips are very coarse. You can make them extremely thin and very exquisite, even on this size of paper. So it's a technique I really like, it's quite possible that you're looking at it and saying, that's so ugly, but it's just partway through. And so I may show you that tomorrow when I've looked at it, and I will try and find some better pictures of, this is not what you'd call a poured painting, better pictures of paintings where you use drips and drips through. And anyway, I've got to put this down. And where are we in our time? Oh, we're getting close to closing. I didn't do, I bet I could do a drip painting on a, if I come prepared, I can probably do a drip painting on the quality Yupo paper. So this is a painting on Yupo paper, and what we've been playing with today is not Yupo paper. Just to give you a quick show, a quick on the way out. Let's, with half my brushes dirty, let's do something. Okay. Yellow blue. And I love Yupo paper because it is archival. I don't have to make digital copies of it, because I can sell. I can make copies, and then I can sell the original. The thing about the copies is that I can copy them at a very high resolution, and then sell very, very large copies. So I can make a small painting, and then if I'm just going to use one, no, two, okay. Let's play, let's play, let's play, let's play, let's play, let's, okay. Okay, that is phthalo blue. We're not going to do much talking about this, but this is the blue I made from phthalo blue and green, which I like very much. So this is just to show you how great this phthalo, how well these tools work on a prepared glossy archival finish, which is the Yupo paper, and how when they're fresh, and you don't have to, you can put an underpainting under them and paint so that when you scrape through, you paint almost, you can almost completely see the underpainting. See there, I've just scraped through and I'm right down to the white again, you know. And so if I wanted to actually get right down to the white, I just wipe off my little brush and I would go right down to the white. So I'm just playing with this. I know I keep saying, I'm just playing with this. And because I have blue and green in here, and blue and yellow in here. I've absolutely got there's another one of those funny green colors. So I'm going to just cover this over. Go like this. So you can play with these as though they're finger paints, and that's what that's about there. You can take out the parts you don't want to be finger paints. You have marks underneath. So I don't have any, this says enter passcode there, is that? Oh, red. So this red should make, well, this yellow is a very, very reddy yellow. It's almost an orange. The mass tone is orange. See, that looks like orange to me. But when you scrape it out, it's a very bright yellow, like over there. So you can use these to make sort of like weaving like gestures, like I'm weaving here, going under. And then I might go over this thing and then, I don't know, like I've woven down there. But I've done whole shows where I've gone through, show people how you weave under and over. So I went under that part and so a lot of fun, mixing paints as you paint. We learn a lot about that. And it's a great warm-up. You can warm up on the plastic butcher paper. Once your paintings start to become a little nicer, you're going to start wanting to warm up on a more archival paper. So, and if that's basically what's happened to me, is I've got to order some better sized paper because I paint looser on a larger size, and then I have an original to market as well as, you know, copies. Ooh. I'll do another one here, and then I'm going to go. Where am I going to go? Over. Oops. So this painting I would be able to look at and say, oh, I did that with a 1 inch. Maybe I want to do some stuff with the 2 inch, and here's a 2 inch. And the thing about playing with this sort of stuff is that if you don't do it, you won't learn about what your own marks are. And if you do it, you start to learn how you like to make marks. Now that might not be, I mean, I like to make a lot of different kind of marks. And a lot of my marks are quite sort of architectural, but your marks might be quite different. And I'm going to start showing, when I talk about things like this, I should be able to give examples. So what I am going to be able to do is show mark making that looks, you know, sort of architectural like this. And then mark making, I've got a picture that I call romance. It's probably the only picture that I've ever done that both the movement of the paint and the colors would suggest the name, which was romance. So I often paint, name my paintings after, because I like to look and see what was I thinking of when I was. With the romance one, I don't know whether I was thinking of romance, but I do know that I look at it and that's what it says to me. It says to me like a traditional sort of maybe romance of the 18th century or something like that. Not very traditional today. So when you've got gobs of painting sitting on places like this and it's still wet, you have the choice. You can go and see if there's something underneath, or you can also just say, well, I really think I'd just like to have that flat, like that color. Maybe not actually go underneath, but actually cover it up. And so this green one I could go underneath, and I probably will, because it's so in the middle of the painting. So I'm going to go back to this size, and I'm going to go. So I'm actually making different marks on the surface, very small ones. And so I'm disturbing the marks I just made, so my more recent marks on the surface look more on top. That's kind of how I would say that logically. They are more on top because I did them on top. But because I did them on top, it's reflected in the... You can look at the painting and say, oh, where did she start? She started way back there. What was next? What was next? What was next? So somebody might like doing that. I like looking at other people's paintings and doing that, but I don't really. It's not my... I know where I was if I look at mine. So that's today's... Oh, look at that blue look at that, how that one is just way out there. What can we do with it? I shouldn't do anything with it, but I could call the painting way out there, and I might still. But can I bring it in? Can I because it's so far out. That's better, especially if I go like that, and like that, and like that, and like that, and maybe like that, that. So I usually don't bother to, especially these quick, oh, no, that's too red over there. Because you could just keep going forever and then it would become terrible. I think I should stop. I'm stopping. I'm stopping. Oh, it's 4 minutes after. Okay. So I apologize. I'm going to get down to where I say my goodbyes. I apologize for, what do I have to apologize for? Singing. I'm not really, I start singing when I'm painting. I'm really, I'm in some kind of a zone, whether it's a painting zone. It doesn't seem to affect whether what I do is good or bad, but I do enjoy what I'm doing. And thank you for joining us. We are going to be starting at 11 in the future. And probably in a couple of weeks, we're going to change our format a little bit so that you'll kind of know what's going to happen in the show. Because right now, we're trying to plan ahead of time, but we're still new at this. I know this is number 76, Previn? Yeah. And we've learned that we have to plan it, and then we have learned I have to, for example, make sure all my tools are clean, which they weren't today, and be more prepared. So our hope is to provide a show that you'll know that in the first segment you'll get this, and in the second segment something else, and if there's a third segment we'll do that. But we are going to start coming on at 11. That's partly due to where we live right now. It's extremely hot at the middle of the day, so it's best to get things like this done before it's that warm. And we live in Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula, right against the Gulf of Mexico. So it's warm, hot, slightly breezy, sunny day here today. Thank you for joining us. You can find us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Starting next week, we'll be beginning to show at 11 a.m. Central to do demonstrations, provide support for our products that we market online, and take ideas. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday at 11 a.m. Have a great